At dusk in an Arizona valley, a lone rider discovers more than a campfire. He finds respect, warmth, and the rare offer of family. Two sisters, guided by their wise mother, invite him into their world. One night, one meal, and a wandering soul finally feels at home. Let's get started. The late 1800s Arizona. Dusk painted the sky with fading streaks of amber and rose as Liam Carter guided his weary horse through the narrow valley. He had been riding for hours, dust clinging to his boots and throat dry as sand. The land felt both silent and alive, whispering ancient truths through the sagebrush. He pulled the reins near a cluster of cottonwoods, where smoke rose lazily into the dimming sky. Liam wasn't expecting to find anyone there, yet the soft rhythm of gathering wood reached his ears. When he rounded the bend, he spotted her, an old Apache woman, deliberate and strong despite her age. Two young women stood beside her, balancing bundles of sticks on their arms. They were beautiful in a quiet, dignified way, Aya with sharp, thoughtful eyes and Nima with softer features and a calm smile. Their traditional dresses swayed in the warm valley breeze, blending with the earth like living paintings. The old woman straightened when she saw him. Surprise flickered in her face, then softened into recognition. "You," she said, pointing her chin gently. "You're the man who saved our wounded boy last spring." Her voice carried pride, memory, and a hint of gratitude woven into its tone. Liam lowered his gaze, feeling heat creep to his neck. "Just did what was right, ma'am," he murmured. He never felt comfortable taking credit. Saving the boy had been instinct, not heroism. Anyone with decency would have done the same, or so he believed, though many men did not. The old woman studied him with eyes seasoned by years of storms, seasons, and sorrow. It felt as though she saw straight into his spirit. Her daughters exchanged glances, for they had heard the stories too, how he rode through rain and nightfall to help a child he barely knew. After a long moment, the old woman smiled softly. It was the kind of smile that felt earned. "A man with a good heart shouldn't wander alone forever," she said. The statement hit Liam unexpectedly. He had lived alone for years, a cabin too quiet, a life too hollow, though he never admitted it aloud. Aya shifted slightly, her braids catching the light. Nima's expression remained gentle but observant. Their mother gestured toward them with a slow, deliberate movement that carried tradition and meaning. "My daughters are strong," she continued. "They honor our ways. They respect the land and the people within it." Liam swallowed hard. He wasn't expecting such a conversation. He had merely stopped searching for water and now found himself standing inside a moment that felt larger than him, older than him, anchored in culture and purpose. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "I never meant to intrude." "You didn't?" the old woman replied firmly. "The valley leads people where they're meant to be." The words settled into him like warm embers. He wasn't sure if he believed in fate, but the calm in her voice made him wonder. Aya took a small step forward, her eyes thoughtful. "We know the stories," she said softly. "Not many men show courage without expecting something in return." Nima nodded, brushing stray hair behind her ear. "Our people still speak of that night," she added. "The storm, the river, the boy's injury. You carried him for miles." Liam felt a strange ache. He didn't like being praised, especially for something he considered simple humanity. He shifted his weight, letting his hand rest gently on his horse's neck. "I was nearby," he protested quietly. "Anyone would have done it." Aya tilted her head slightly, studying him. "No," she said with quiet certainty. "Not anyone." Her words held no flattery, only truth. The old woman approached with a slow, steady stride, smoke rising behind her like a veil. She tapped her heart gently with 2 fingers. "A man with honor is rare," she said. "Rarer still is a man who carries that honor without pride." Liam felt the weight of her respect. It humbled him deeply. Then she spoke the words that changed the air between them. "Perhaps one of my daughters could be a wife," she said, her voice even but warm. "If your spirit agrees." Liam felt the world still for a heartbeat. The wind paused. The river hushed. Aya and Nima stood quietly, neither embarrassed nor afraid. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Marriage? Him? He had never expected such a possibility, especially not from people who owed him nothing. He glanced at the young women, who did not shy away. They watched him with calm, steady dignity. Not desperation or expectation, only openness. The old woman lifted a hand gently. Do not fear the choice, she said. No one will force your path. A union must come from mutual respect. Liam exhaled, tension easing slightly from his shoulders. He respected that deeply. He had seen too many forced marriages on the frontier, too many broken spirits. Aya crossed her arms lightly, studying him. We do not offer ourselves lightly, she said quietly. Our people see marriage as the joining of futures, not convenience. Nima offered a soft smile. But kindness is a seed, she added, and sometimes it grows into something fuller. Liam's mind raced. He wasn't frightened, just overwhelmed by the sincerity of the moment. He had spent years drifting from ranch to ranch, helping where he could, sleeping under stars because no home ever felt like his. Now here he stood, offered something he never dreamed he deserved. He cleared his throat, voice low. I don't know what path I'm meant to walk, he admitted. Honesty felt like the only choice. The old woman nodded approvingly. Truth is the first step toward any worthy decision, she replied. And truth lives easily in you. Aya gently placed her bundle of firewood down. We do not ask for an answer today, she said. Walk with us. Share the evening meal. Learn who we are. Nima nodded, encouraging. And let us learn who you are as well. Liam felt something shift inside him, something soft and unexpected. Being invited into a family's fire circle was a sacred gesture, one he did not take lightly. If you're sure, he murmured. The old woman smiled knowingly. If we were not sure, I would not have spoken. They began gathering the last of the firewood as the wind softened. Liam followed beside them, his heart steadying to the rhythm of footsteps and rustling leaves. The smoke rising into the twilight felt like an old blessing carried into the sky. As they walked toward the distant glow of their campfire. Liam sensed that the valley had led him somewhere he was meant to be, not by accident, not by chance, but by something deeper. The night air grew cooler, but warmth blossomed in his chest. For the first time in a long time, he didn't feel like a wanderer, he felt welcomed. And fate, silent and ancient, continued weaving the next steps ahead. Liam stood still, heart thudding, unsure of how to respond to something so sacred and unexpected. The evening light painted the valley in shades of gold and red. Before he could struggle for words, Aya stepped forward, her posture straight, her eyes calm with honesty, not pressure or expectation. No one will force you, she said gently, her voice steady like the river nearby. A bond must grow from truth. Her words carried a wisdom far older than her years, and the sincerity in her tone eased the tension knotted in Liam's chest. He nodded slowly, grateful for her kindness. I'd never choose anything unless it carried respect, Liam replied quietly. He didn't speak to impress them, only to be understood. He was a man who valued dignity, choice, and the right to walk one's own path. The two sisters exchanged warm glances as though his answer confirmed something they had already sensed. Nima stepped closer, offering a soft smile that reached her eyes. Then walk with us, she said. Friendship comes before any promise. Her voice flowed with gentle assurance, soothing like a breeze through pine trees. Liam felt the sincerity in her invitation, and it softened something inside him. The old woman approached with the steady grace of someone who had weathered many seasons. She laid her hand on Liam's arm, light, respectful, reassuring. Good unions begin with kindness, not duty, she murmured. Let the heart learn slowly. Time will guide the rest. Her words felt like a blessing carved from years of wisdom. They began walking toward the village, the fading sun stretching long shadows behind them. The sisters carried their bundles of firewood once more, and Liam followed alongside. His steps quieter now, his spirit calmer. There was no pressure on his shoulders, only possibility gently unfolding before him. Asterisk as the valley opened. The village came into view, warm lights flickering through the dusk. Smoke curled upward from small fires, drifting like silver ribbons into the evening sky. The scent of sage and simmering stew wafted toward them, welcoming and familiar. Liam felt a sense of belonging he hadn't known in years. Aya walked beside him. "Our people believe paths cross at the right time," she said softly. "Not too soon, not too late." Liam glanced at her, curious. "You believe fate brought us together?" I smiled, neither shy nor bold, just sure. Fate. Or simply the heart's need finally being heard. Nemo walked on his other side, humming a soft melody in Apache tongue. The tune wrapped around him like a warm blanket, full of history, sorrow, and hope. Liam listened quietly, feeling the tension in his body melt into the music. The melody seemed to stitch something broken inside him. As they entered the village, a few people looked up, recognizing Liam from the season before. Some nodded in greeting. Others smiled respectfully. He felt a strange warmth spread through his chest at their acceptance. It wasn't loud or extravagant, it was steady, sincere, and deeply human. The sisters led him to their fire circle, where a pot simmered beside a small clay oven. Aya knelt gracefully and stirred the pot. Nima added herbs, her movements fluid and purposeful. Liam watched with quiet admiration. Their hands worked with practiced care that spoke of years spent tending a home. The old woman motioned for Liam to sit. "Eat with us," she said. "Meals shared build trust." Liam lowered himself onto a woven mat, feeling oddly at peace. Nima handed him a bowl, the warm aroma of stew rising into the cool night air. "Taste," she encouraged softly. "This is our mother's recipe." He took a bite and paused. The flavor was rich, earthy, comforting. "This is wonderful," he said genuinely. Aya smiled. "Food made with heart always is." The simple truth of her words struck him more deeply than he expected. He hadn't shared a warm meal with others in a long time. As the stars brightened above, stories began to flow around the fire. The sisters spoke of childhood adventures, lessons from their elders, dreams they carried. Their voices wove through the night like threads in a tapestry. Liam found himself opening up too. Sharing pieces of his life he rarely voiced. He spoke of losing his parents young, of drifting from ranch to ranch, of never finding a place where he truly belonged. The sisters listened without pity, only understanding. "A lonely spirit doesn't mean a weak one," Aya said. "Only one waiting for its match." Her words echoed inside him. Nima added softly. "Sometimes the heart needs warmth to remember it can grow again." Liam lowered his gaze, feeling both exposed and comforted. These women did not see him as a wanderer or an outsider. They saw him as a man trying, surviving, hoping even if he didn't fully realize it himself. The old woman watched them, eyes glinting with quiet wisdom. "You carry sorrow," she told Liam, "but also courage. My daughters see that. I see that. Courage makes a fine root for a future strong enough to weather any storm." Liam swallowed hard, fighting the tightness in his throat. As the fire crackled, Aya reached out and gently touched his hand. The gesture was simple, respectful, yet deeply grounding. Nima placed her hand beside Aya's. They didn't hold him, they simply offered presence. Liam felt his throat tighten with emotion he had long forgotten how to feel. He looked at them both. Two women of strength, grace, and heart, and felt something shift inside him. Not love, not yet, but the spark of something real. Something steady, something that could grow if tended with care. His voice trembled slightly. "Thank you for letting me be here." Aya squeezed his fingers. "You came with truth in your heart," she whispered. "That is enough tonight." Nima nodded gently. "The rest will come when it wishes to." Their mother watched him with approval, knowing something sacred was taking root before her eyes. As the fire dimmed and the stars burned brighter, Liam realized the valley had not led him here by accident. He had wandered for years seeking something he couldn't name: a place, a purpose, a connection strong enough to quiet the ache in his chest. And now, unexpectedly, it was here the old woman placed more wood on the fire, her voice low and warm. "A man's journey ends not when he grows tired," she said, "but when he finds people worth resting beside." Liam absorbed her words slowly, each one settling deep within him like stones forming a foundation. Aya met his gaze. "Will you stay a while?" she asked so softly. "Not forever, not as a promise, just the invitation of someone who hoped to know him more." Nima added gently, "Stay until your heart knows what it wants." Liam felt emotion rise in him like the tide. He inhaled deeply, looking at the three women, their strength, their kindness, their quiet belief in him. Slowly, intentionally, he nodded. "Yes," he whispered. "I'll stay." The decision lifted a weight he didn't realize he'd been carrying for years. Aya smiled, Nima beamed, and their mother closed her eyes in gratitude. Together, they turned their faces toward the glowing embers. A new chapter had begun, not forced, not rushed, but blooming naturally under an Arizona night sky. Liam felt the stir of hope in his chest, gentle yet powerful. Whatever the future held, he knew one truth: for the first time in his life, he was no longer walking alone.